Hello viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Rocket Monday, we're going to talk about Space News 06, basically 6 March 2026. So let's dive deep into it. So basically, this news was a bit old, but again, now it's concrete, so I want to talk about it. Basically, now we have a new head of NASA, which is a very bumpy selection process, which was odd. That's why I did not cover it very early on. Jared Isaacman was nominated on 4 December 2024. It's a old news, but here's the deal. The nomination was withdrawn for some reason, and then it was re-nominated. Yeah, messy process. And on 18 December 2025, this finally happened, meaning he became the 15th head of NASA. Head of NASA does not have that sort of power because, again, they are a branch of government. So basically the Senate and the presidential office, they will decide what happens. But they are the one who is like setting the goal, organizing the deal, so to say. And he, if I'm not mistaken, is the first self-made billionaire entrepreneur, meaning one of the few people who knows how money works. So that is there. And he knows how money works because there are very few people who can say they have a jet. There are even fewer people who can say they have a fighter jet. He is one of them. And he knows how to fly. Oh, did I mention he also went to space? Privately. He's not from army or governmental sector or anything like astronaut program or anything like that. He's like completely private, and he did things that only governmental employees can even think of. Like army is technically a governmental employee. So yeah, he fundamentally has thorough understanding of how money works, and he has some idea. Be mindful, whenever this sort of new head is selected, they have to talk in Congress, I would say, Senate, so to say. Basically, they have to put out their ideas, like what they're gonna do. Now, when his turn was there, he was very clear on what to do, and which was very refreshing. It was not political butter and all that. It was like, no, I want to do this. This is what we are messing up. And he was very clear about that. So clarity of purpose was there. And clear logical pathway was plus. And again, now because he is in the office and he's actually taking action, that part has been revealed to us that he's actually taking action that will save NASA. Because again, NASA at the current rate of money burning party that they are doing, they will be shut down. And I do not mean shut down as in like shut down, as in like, yeah, they will no longer have any mission left. It's like, yeah, you can't just say, oh, I wanted a telescope, I asked $1 billion and it took $10 billion. Yeah, you can't do that multiple times. Once in a while, cool. Not multiple times. Like, oh, a rocket's supposed to be $500 million. Now it costs more than $2 billion per launch. Yeah, no. Be mindful, $2 billion is the price of B2. American government cannot afford that for a military project. They're like, yo, bit too spicy. So let that sink in. Like how NASA was money burning, it was unsustainable. And again, it's not me saying it, or it's not some politician saying that. It's literally office inspector general office from NASA. They're like, yo, we are basically taking money and setting it on fire. So having someone like this is very desirable. So first missile, which again, any of you have watched my channel, I've been saying from day one, SLS has to close down. Why? Here's the deal. SLS was never a rocket. This is not a rocket. This is abomination. Meaning, when space shuttle went kaboom, the space shuttle had to be shut down. But here's the deal. Because it was a governmental project, they had a lot of governmental employee. And the issue was, what the heck happens to their job? Now, again, generally, whenever you build a rocket and if it does not work, you build something new. And because these were governmental, so there was bureaucracy. The idea was, no matter what happens, make the next rocket using the same parts. So these people can have their jobs. Not shift into different things, not okay, now learn to build something different, new project, and no. Use the same parts, so they do not need to be retrained, they do not need to do anything, all the factories remain exactly the same. Basically, just a, almost like a keep unemployed people employed kind of deal. Like it's almost insulting to those people. It's like, are you actually telling them they cannot design something new or useful or better? So the first project that was created, this is during Bush era, that was Constellation. So they took the space shuttle hardware and made Constellation. Orion is from Constellation. And the idea was the booster would have been upgraded to become a simpler rocket. And again, Constellation ironically had far more clear goals and far more absolute trajectory. It was less messy. And Obama cancelled it because again, it was idiotically behind schedule, and the only thing that was done was Orion. That's why Orion was saved. Now Obama cancelled it, but again, those same politicians were like, okay, these people must have job and they cannot be asked to learn some new skill, and let's create a new rocket program that actually works. Again, this abomination was created known as Senate Launch System. or you can call Space Launch System. Again, same hardware from Space Shuttle. Be mindful, at this point in time, Space Shuttle has been dead for decades. So they're still using the same hardware. Same engine actually. Literally the same engine. So fundamentally, this is so expensive and so lol that it cannot fly. Like fundamentally, if NASA flies this again and again, they're gonna shut down. The end. That's how much money burning is. Like NASA lies and says like, oh, it's a $500 million per launch. And Inspector General does the calculation. It's like, bro, you'd be lucky if it's under $2 billion. Again, not me saying it. Inspector General report is open to public. So this has to be cancelled. You cannot do something like this. Oh, every few years we are burning $2 billion. Yeah, that's not happening. So they have to cancel it. So what are their action steps? Action step 1, target. Target is make sure you are launching once a year minimum. Cadence has to improve. Why? Every time it's having the same problem. Helium leak, hydrogen leak, helium leak, hydrogen leak. Every time. This is the third launch and we have the exact same issue that we had first time and second time. Why? Gap is too huge. If the gap is so huge, the engineers, many engineers are contract based, so they go for something else. So you lose the competency that allowed you to figure the problem out. So the same problem happens and you cannot troubleshoot it or fix it again. So that's the first thing. Make sure this launches every year. Okay, how would you do without going bankrupt? Well, no more SLS orgasm. So SLS block 1B destroyed, block 2 computed. So no more upgrades. Basically, the exploration upper stage, which again, Boeing does not know how to build rocket. I'm not saying this is from their report. You should read it. They forgot how to weld the rocket stage. So yeah, that's like, no more money burning party. The end. You had time. You were a decade behind schedule. The end. So basically, they're gutting that project. Oh, and tower. I'm not joking. The tower that's supposed to be barely few $1 million, it's $200 million was allocated to make tower for block 2. Not even block 2, actually, block 1B. I'm like, okay, what is the difference between block 1B and 2? Block 1B is second stage upgraded, which is the final form of SLS, and block 2 is that upper stage is doing the actual heavy lifting. So basically, they will upgrade the stage, but not increase the payload and all that jazz. But in the second one, they will upgrade it. But again, that required a new tower. That tower is supposed to be $200 million. Yeah, it burnt more than $1 billion and still there is no tower. Burnt. Money is burnt. Like money, lol. There is no tower. So all of that set aside. Like the end, no more BS. So now it's actually practical that they can actually build this. So idea is you start working on this, copy paste as many times as you need to. No more BS. No, oh, we're gonna do this. This time we're gonna fix that. No. Exact same thing. Target launch every 1 year. There won't be any upgrades to SLS. And again, they have to cancel this. So simplifying it, amplifying its cadence allows them to like quickly sort everything out and then just lock the price burning, money burning party. It's like, okay, instead of 2 billion or 3 billion per launch, only burn maybe 1 billion. So that is there. And they are bringing the dream and delusion to the ground, because again, Artemis 3 could not have practically landed on moon because there was no lunar landing part that is sorted. That is still going lol. And again, that is the issue of previous administration. They did not have clear goal. What are you doing? Why are you doing it? And how are you doing it? It was all lol. We want to go to the moon. Okay, how? Why? What is the architecture? Because again, he does know space. He does have enough wisdom in it. It's like, okay, we're going to do Artemis 3 and we're going to follow the same pipeline as Apollo. We're going to go into orbit. We're going to do the rendezvous. We're going to do the docking. We're going to sort all of those things out. And then we're going to throw astronaut to, through the moon. So Artemis 3 will do that. Again, Artemis 3 that's supposed to have astronaut, they will still have astronaut, but they will not go around the moon. So, because again, without docking, you're not going to do anything because this rocket is incomplete. It's not like Saturn V one launch at the end. It's useless. So they need docking. And again, docking with what? That is also not complete. So there are two puppies at this point in time. So one, we have cocaine puppy from Elon Musk. This is the same guy who was like, what if we remove LiDAR from car and kaputted people, 150 people kaputted, or have a vacuum train kaputted. So basically, this is second stage that they are forcing to act like a third stage. And the idea is you're going to refuel it God knows how many times. You're going to launch a rocket that's going to be tanker. You're going to refuel it God knows how many times, minimum 10, maximum 20, or maybe even more than that. So yeah, that's cocaine. And then that's going to dump fuel into the lunar variant. And then you're going to go to, yeah, that's cocaine. That's not happening. Now, again, let that be very clear. Can this be done? Of course. Can it be done before 2030 deadline? No. Again, I'm saying that like, today date is already mentioned. So can it be done before 2030? No. Can you do all of that and still human certify the system? Lol, no. And he's the only one who said like, okay, if our goal is to go to the moon, why we are buying rockets? Like architecture, what's the architecture? Oh no, we are buying a rocket that was designed for low Earth orbit satellite deployment. Cool, it's awesome for that. It's not a lunar rocket. And again, look at China, how clever they are. They're like, hey, let's not build Saturn V. It's too expensive, too huge. Let's build medium class rocket, as in like 75 ton. Payload number 1, which is just the things that land on the moon and take off from the moon. Payload number 2, which is the third stage of Saturn V. That's it. 2 launches, 1 payload, 1 third stage rocket, the end. Go home. Done. Everything is done. It's like we're gonna reuse it. You are not using anything in this. Not anything would be reused. The tanker, yeah, that's stuck. The lunar system, yeah, that's completely use and throw. So all of, oh, again, that's why it has to dock with Orion. Orion is gonna bring the people back. So this is just cocaine. Now we have Blue Origin pathway, which is far more logical given the time frame of 2030. If 2030 is your time frame, this is more likely to happen. Again, do I think it can be done in 2030? Doubtful, but it's not impossible. This is impossible. This, yeah, it can be done. It will be hard, but it can be done. So that's the whole point. And we are finally looking at slow termination of SLS. And be mindful, it would be a very big deal. Why? This is the last rocket NASA built. After this, NASA will not have any rocket contract. They will only have commercial contracts. Meaning, NASA will say, I want this capability, private players go. So this is the last hurrah of SLS. My expectation is they might get 10 launches, which again, I'm being too optimistic. It will cause bankruptcy if they try to do that, but let's see. But I'm pretty sure by 2035, they have to cancel it. They have to throw it away. You can't just burn money like this. Now we come to SpaceX. So SpaceX Flight 11 was kind of long ago. That was last flight of Block 2 variant, which was on 12 October 2025. And be mindful, Starship is also, if it was Boeing, people would have kaputted the company. But again, it has Elon Musk, Elon Weed, and Elon's cult personality. People are like, oh, it's an awesome rocket. It's not a rocket. There is never been any scenario, any country, any company that have tried 12 times to launch something into orbit. That does not happen. Integrated flight testing does not happen 11 times. Like, no. Just no. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, 4 is the maximum. Maximum. Nobody crosses 5 and it's like, okay, we're still testing things out. No. And saying, oh, rocket is, well, again, it's still taking time. By the way, Elon Musk sold the public 2024 moon landing. I was there when he smoked and said, it's like, you know what, 2024 moon landing, people give me money, $1 billion. Yeah, no. So now Block 3 will be the final iteration for a short duration that's supposed to actually go to orbit and actually deploy payload. Let that be very clear. Not throw things, actually deploy. Basically how New Glenn deployed first payload in first launch, second paid payload to the Mars. So hopefully Block 3 will actually start deploying payload. Even if Starlink satellites, it will start deploying them. So that is there. And this time, how the heck they're gonna achieve it, given the fact that Block 1 and Block 2 were 100% useless. One had barely 5 ton to low Earth orbit, another barely had 35 ton to low Earth orbit. This is not my number, this is Elon Musk number. So you can figure that out. It simply cannot, like no matter what you do, it cannot actually deploy stuff into orbit till Block 2. So Block 3, with that engine, maybe can do that. Now here's it. How the heck a rocket can be this off balance, where it's like, oh, supposed to do 100 ton to low Earth orbit or 150 ton to low Earth orbit and barely can do 5 tons, 35 tons. What the hell happened? It happened because the original design, like how the Starship was designed, it was not Starship back then. It was interplanetary transport vehicle. It was a 12-meter diameter behemoth and it was made out of carbon fiber. Now both of these things, first, if you make the diameter larger, surface area to volume ratio improves, meaning per ton of propellant, the ton of steel that you require or basically structure goes down. Bigger the tank, the less material it needs per ton of liquid. That's why bigger rockets are better. So 12 meter was fundamentally better than 9 meter. That's even if you have the same material. Second, the material was best of the best, carbon fiber. So he directly nosedive from carbon fiber to basically stainless steel, which again is a stupid material. And again, people smoke cocaine, so they are like, okay, stainless steel can survive re-entry. We have highest entry manned re-entry craft, that was Apollo craft. It did not have steel, it was aluminum. Space shuttle, multiple reuse, Aluminum. And again, the only time space shuttle fell, first booster O-ring went boom. Again, nothing could have been done. Second time, there was a basically RPG, a foam RPG going kaboom into it, punched a hole into it. Beach mindful, if it happens with a Starship, it will also collapse. If anybody's like, oh, stainless steel can handle it, no. If you have a foam traveling at Mach speed, even if it's only 1 kilogram or 2 kilogram, it's gonna punch a hole. So fundamentally, this whole delusion of like using stainless steel for rockets, again, this engine could not do anything. So they're like, okay, this engine is just a proof of concept. Okay. So they're like, okay, let's make it more powerful, make it more efficient. Block 2 barely did 35 ton to low Earth orbit. And now they're Raptor 3, which mindful, they cannot make version 4 engine anymore. Like version 3 to version 4 gap would be so tiny, it would be like, it mostly would be optimization for manufacturing. It won't be like, okay, now it has more thrust, because this was already reaching chemical output thermodynamical limit. You are here with Mach 2, here Mach 3. This gap you can't do, and this is not that big anymore. So basically jump from 1 to 2 was huge. 2 to 3 is not huge, but 2 to 3 is weight savings. So on paper, this should finally be big enough, finally have enough oomph to actually deploy a almost 100 ton to low Earth orbit. And that's why they keep stretching the tanks. It's like, yeah, it is too heavy. The only logical solution is just let your ego go and switch this thing to lithium aluminum alloy. Failure to do so, well, SLS 2.0. Again, let's be very clear. If after 11 launches, all you have to say is like, okay, next version will actually go to orbit, it's like, oh, on top of that, it went a boom, the booster went a boom, and again, it created a hassle for FAA. Be mindful, this is one of the few rockets or only rocket that caused such a hassle that FAA has to redirect flights. Again, you're like, okay, that happened in past. It did happen. FAA had to deal with that. So now they are working on creating new, better safety protocol systems. So they want to be absolutely sure that you're not going to kaput everybody else, just kaput yourself. So that is there. And Mark II launch tower is being built perfectly. That's the only good logical thing I've seen. For like, I cannot tell you how many people are like, oh, he can make flatter. It's like, you can make it. It's just stupid to do so. The only reason why he tried to do flat, which again, only he knows what he's smoking. So most likely it was he did not get the license to like, dig a trench. Again, that was the issue. Many times NASA has like the hill. Why the heck they have hill? Yeah, they did not get the license to dig deep. So they're like, okay, do it here. And second tower, which is upgraded version, is like, okay, we also going to do the hill, but we're going to have a launch, not 90 degree. Thou shall not have 90 degree to rocket. Thou shall have 45 degree. And ideally a curve, 45 degree. So those things are the only thing I've seen improvement. And again, there is a rumor they are finally putting air distillation tower on site. That should save them a lot of money and a lot of road destruction, because again, no more trucks bringing GG amounts of nitrogen and GG amounts of oxygen. Only methane would need to be brought on site. So that's SpaceX. Let's see. And again, currently the expected launch time is April 2026, where they're going to have the V3 launch. Comment down below, how many tons do you think it will actually deploy in orbit? Now let's understand the Blue Origin, slow puppy. So Blue Origin third launch is shifted. The third launch was originally lunar landing, which was bold to say the least. Now, given the fact that they have done very good, given the fact the first launch actually worked, the only thing people were complaining, it did not landed. It deployed the payload in orbit as it's supposed to. But again, it was in-house payload. Cool, no problem. Second launch, they deployed the payload, paid payload, Martian orbiters directly into orbit. So GG. Third one, this time they are switching from lunar landing testing to AST, Space Mobile Launch System. It's a paid launch basically. And this is a decently heavy puppy, like 6 ton. Basically, it can't be launched by a Rocket Lab unless they figure out Neutron. So Rocket Lab can launch not this, and they have a contract with basically ATS Space Mobile, multi-year contract, multi-launch contract that was signed on 14th November 2024. Now, how do we know AST can do what they want to do? Well, they have launched one of the satellite with ISRO a few days ago, December 2025. So we know that company is real, company has tested it. So this Bluebird Block 2, which is a huge satellite, let that be very clear, it's huge. It's almost a football stadium size, like it's huge. So what's the deal with this? The idea is this is a mobile tower on space. That's it. It's nothing different. Like two companies are trying to solve how the heck you're gonna have a communication with your smartphone. Like basic smartphone, no modification or anything like that. What SpaceX did, they bought a company. The company was developing a technology for that same thing, like space to ground communication, but using a mobile tower frequency. However, because they were focusing on IoT devices, they were designing more of a low bandwidth data transmission. Meaning, if you have a SpaceX technology at this point in time, all you can do is transmit messages, meaning emergency, SOS, those sort of thing, or WhatsApp message. But what this is doing, AST, because they were day one designing in such a way that you're not going to be able to tell the difference, are you on space network or on ground network, terrestrial network. It is mobile tower rerouting technology. That's the special sauce from AST. So they have actually launched, again, that's why I specified, they launched it in December, and they had maintained video call on this. So this is, at this point in time, fundamentally ahead what SpaceX have in space. Now, SpaceX is saying that their V3 satellite should be able to, they might have upgraded the technology, the patents and all that, they might have upgraded it, or V3 might have enough oomph, because again, these satellites are big and oomfish. So maybe SpaceX have also solved that issue. But again, more trust on this because A, that was their core competency. B, they have launched it. C, they have tested it. So it is going to be, and they do not need thousands of it. That was another part. Like, this is huge for that another reason. They do not need thousands of it. And even few hundred, like under 100, they can cover whole planet. Again, it won't be like maximum throughput, but the whole idea is most of the time you're going to use your terrestrial network. But if you go into remote location, you will switch to this. And you will not notice it because your mobile service provider will deal with this. So, and again, they have contract with Indian mobile operator, VI. They have a contract with UK operator. Half of European countries have contract operators, and USA also. So that's why Blue Origin, I think, has shifted. It is like, yeah, we're gonna launch our lunar system, or maybe it was delayed. Most likely it was delayed. So they're like, okay, might as well, the rocket was scheduled for launching in February 2026. That did not happen. So most likely rocket is ready. They're like, okay, let's delay the lunar system. Let's pull back the AST contract, make money in the time. So this is Blue Origin. Again, most likely, knock on wood, it should work. It should deploy payload without any issue. And we should start to get more testing data on large scale people with cell phone to satellite phone. Now, some tragic news, which is from Space One. This is a Japanese company, Curious. It's a rocket they wanted to do, which is very weird. They wanted to make solid fuels, basically a missile. I have no idea. I know ISRO has that damage, but like, why the heck Japanese people are doing this? I'm genuinely confused because I've seen UK companies that are trying to make a small satellite launch vehicle. All of them are liquid. This is the only one that I've seen outside of India that is like, okay, we're going to use solid booster. So the target is basically electron rocket, but on solid, not liquid. And instead of having 2 stage, they're gonna have 4 stage. So it's a 3-stage solid booster, which is the main rocket, almost like small satellite launch vehicle of ISRO. And the 4th is the liquid stage, most likely a hypergolic that's gonna do fine tuning and a orbital insertion. So 3-stage solid missile and 4th liquid fine tuning. And the first attempt was done on 13 March 2024. Be mindful, Japan does have hundreds of companies signed in and saying that we're going to build a rocket. This was the only one that actually launched, commercial one. 13 March 2024, it went kaboom. And then they tried again on 18 December 2024, it went kaboom. This one happened after a year of gap, which is 5 March 2026. One day, basically it's not even one day from my timeline point of view. India's time and Japanese time, it's few hours ago. So it went boom, and almost all of the time something is going wrong. This time they have pressed the button and boom, the rocket. I do not know why, which again I'm reasonably sure by the time if you're watching this, unless you're a member, if you're watching this, you will figure out like why did that happen. So best Japanese startup now running low on funds, which again they had 4 paid satellites into it. So yeah, so that's a bit weird, which again, I genuinely do not get. It's like, it's a missile. Why you making missile, man? We have missile contractors. Make liquid rocket. Why you missile? And again, three stages, 3 solid stages. Why? So, but again, I do wish them success, but like, boom, boom, boom. The only company that have survived that many booms is SpaceX. Falcon 1 went a boom, boom, boom like this. But again, that is long ago. Now Rocket Lab would be like, bro, you could have given your payload to us. We could have just launched it. Even ISRO would be like, bro, you could have given us, we would be reasonably priced and launched it. SpaceX would be like, bro, you could have just ride shared with us. So yeah, now the market landscape has changed. So this idea of having small satellite launch vehicle, it's no longer as economically productive as it used to be. It's more of like a national defense agency, but again, nobody has cracked it yet. Other than Rocket Lab, I have not seen any new company cracking it yet. Let's hope others do, but not yet. So this was a presentation on the news that happened, basically all the things that happened in recent times. Hopefully you have liked it, learned from it. In that case, please hit the like button, share it amongst a friend. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I do try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.